Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Puma Gato, the cat that gives you your crack rock back. And to my right over here is the main man, Centenero, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Tell me your ideas, bread and spicier content. There goes on the fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, Obama is gay. According to this crackhead on Tucker Carlson. Listen, it's been making its rounds around the internet. A lot of people have been opining on it. There's a particular podcast that I have an issue with in the way that they addressed it. We're going to talk about it here on the podcast tonight. But let's discuss a couple things before we get into that. Listen. I'll be honest with you. Do I think Obama's gay? I don't. Listen, I don't have anything against him being gay. If he's gay, good for him. Good for him. Like suck a little dick, good for him. Look, I'm not gonna judge the man. Do I think he's gay? I personally don't. I feel like he has a few mannerisms that are a little bit more on the metropolitan side. But do I think he's gay? No. Now, this individual on Tucker Carlson that is saying he had a rendezvous with Mr. Barack Obama. He's been saying this since, I believe, the 1990s, something like that. That's when I believe it first came out, or he first came out saying, hey, I had this tryst with Obama. We hit some crack rocks, and then from the crack rocks led to crack dick. Listen, I'll be honest with you. If someone came out and accused any president of being gay, I want to hear them out. So I have no problem with hearing out this crackhead. No issues with that. What I have a problem with is that this man is a convicted liar. He went to prison for some fraud, from some forgery, a number of different issues. So in my eyes, his credibility is shot. Now, I know that's not a hot take. The simple fact of you being a criminal doesn't automatically disqualify and make you a liar. You could be telling the truth. It's what he was convicted of, which is what a lot of these podcasts seem to not be taken into consideration. If this man got convicted for armed robbery and he's like, look, Obama let me suck his dick, I'd be like, okay, well, let me hear your story. But if this man said, look, I got convicted for fraud and then I sucked Obama's dick, my man, you just told me you're fraudulent. You just told me you committed forgery. You just told me you committed an act in which your credibility was called into question. But I'm supposed to believe you on such a salacious claim? It's a little bit insane to me. Look, I'm going to call out Valuetainment directly, PBD, particularly this gentleman named Vinny, who's always on the Valuetainment podcast. The arguments that these people make are insane. Listen, again, is there a potential that Obama's gay? Sure, there's always a potential he's gay. For all we know, he's good at hiding it, or maybe he did have a tryst with some rando back in the 90s. But first of all, take a look at the gentleman that he had a supposed tryst with. Let's be honest. Back then, Obama was a senator. If he was going to be choosing someone to be, hitting up, someone to be getting them crack rocks on with, would it be this guy? I think my man Obama can do a lot better. Regardless, I don't think it's true, but the way that these people, like, again, the Vinny from Valuetainment come on, like, oh, look, it's 100% true because the guy said it. People like him have an agenda. I do like Adam on there because he at least keeps it real about shit. He's like, look, there's a chance he's gay, and there is absolutely a chance Obama's gay. I'm not going to sit here and defend the man. If he's gay, he's gay. I have no problem with him being gay. My co-host has no problem with him being gay. If he's gay, he's gay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If he came out tomorrow and said, you know what, it's true, I had a gay tryst with this man, I'm like, okay, good for you. What am I supposed to do with that information? I don't care. It's funny because PBD's like, oh, why is the left so enraged by him being gay if you guys accept gay people in your side of town? Nobody's enraged, my man. The only question people on the left are asking is saying, okay, and what's the big deal? He's not running for office. He's not really important to the to the Democratic national agenda right now. Sure, he does a couple of events for Joe because Joe was his vice president. But other than that, he doesn't have any real high profile as far as currently doing something of major note in the public right now. So my thing is, why? The only thing that I personally could think of is like, I don't think Tucker Carlson is bringing in the same amount of viewership that he was bringing in, like he was bringing in back in his Fox days. I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, 300 million views." No, listen. We all know. Stop the bullshit. Stop the cap. We all know. Even if you scroll past the video on Twitter, it's counted as a view. So no, 300 million people did not watch that. People like PBD know that that's how things work on there. They just pretend to not know. People like Vinny, who apparently believes in gay frogs, according to his analysis of Obama being gay, and quoting, using people like Alex Jones as people of, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, but some of his things were true. Listen, you can't listen to people like this. It's insane to think that a crackhead convicted of forgery, of fraud, a crackhead who, is there any video? Is there any pictures? Is there anyone else that can corroborate your story? No. And here's the thing, Vinny outright lied and he said this man passed the polygraph test. He didn't. He didn't pass the polygraph test. The man says, I failed the polygraph test, but they rigged it against me. See, there's too much BS and forgery and lies and shit for this individual to be believed. Now, don't get me wrong. If 6 other individuals came out and said, I had a gay tryst, I'd be like, hey, you know what? This dude might be gay. And again, if he is, who cares? Who cares? He's not president anymore. He's never going to be president anymore. It's in the past. Who cares? What do you think about that, my man?
I think the whole thing is fucking ridiculous, especially Valuetainment's entire takes on the thing. Because again, the only rational person is, what was his name? Adam, what was his name? Okay, yeah. He was like, look, I think the whole thing's ridiculous. He doesn't really seem like a very credible individual. It just the story doesn't hold a whole lot of water in the grand scheme of things. But his other 2 co-hosts were like, well, you voted for him. I was like, are you endorsing him? I was like, no, I vote independent. It's like, I'll vote Democrat sometimes and I'll vote Republican sometimes. I'll agree some things on Republican issues or I'll agree on Democrat on some issues. But they were like, no, you voted for him. You got to abide by what he's doing. You're basically endorsing sucking rocks for cocks underneath an overpass. You got to endorse it. You voted for him. He's your man. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because they're still going with that whole, you have to be either all the way right or all the way left. You can't be kind of in the middle or agreeing with some things. There's no such thing as nuance in political discourse these days.
Listen, and see, that's my problem with it, is that people like PBD, people like Vinny, all them type of dudes, they think they're the correct side when they're on all the way on the other side. No, don't get me wrong. I'll be fair. PBD themselves, every once in a while, will give a down the middle take, but it's rare. It's super rare. Here's my problem with it. They just, extreme right and extreme left, they just can't perceive a world where somebody is an actual independent. Again, I agree with some Republican issues. I truly do. I think some of the things that the Republicans have done in certain aspects were correct. At the same time, I also think some things that the Democrats and the left have done are correct. See, that's the problem, is that these people, because they're so far into their own point of view, they just can't perceive a world where you can say, hey, look, I'll vote for Obama. That doesn't mean I like the man. If you're giving me the option between Obama and who was the other guy, Mitt Romney. If you're giving me the option between Obama and Romney, look, you're forcing me to pick a side. I didn't like Hillary. I didn't like Trump either. Like, just because like you're giving me shitty options and I pick one of the shitty options, you're like, oh, you must love him. You must love him. If that's the case, if that's truly the case, PBD, Vinny and all them, they voted for a guy who on a number of occasions said, if I was not her father, I would be dating my daughter. My daughter and I, the only thing we have in common is sex. You're voting for the guy who's basically saying, hey man, I'm into incest. See how of an extreme take that is? See how insane that is? Just because you vote for a person doesn't mean you say, I accept their entirety of their agenda. No, you were given 2 options and you picked which you thought was the shittier or the less shitty of the 2 options. So stop with this whole cap. And here's the thing. People like PBD, they know what they're doing. People like, maybe not Vinny, because I really do believe Vinny's into the sauce. But people like PBD, he knows what he's doing. He's not trying to provide thorough logic to it. He has a side. He's sticking to it. It doesn't matter how flawed his side is. He's like, this is my side. I'm sticking to it. I'm here to tell you, fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Trump. I'm down the middle. I'm not going to pick one side just because, hey, I might like this guy's ideas for the country a little bit more than I might like this guy's. But that's just one concept of it. Sorry I cut you off there, my man. Keep going.
No problem. Anyways, there was one funny part because the person that gave Tucker Carlson the venue for it, because it wasn't on Fox. They weren't going to show that shit on Fox. You know that wasn't going to fly. And even Valuetainment was like, look, it's not going to be covered by mainstream media news because it's going to be too hot of an issue. having this bombshell for Obama to be coming out there that not only was he doing hardcore drugs, or that he was basically having a homosexual tryst with a random person, that was going to be too much of a bombshell. No mainstream media news is going to have that. But somehow it's okay for Twitter just to randomly just have that on there. And another thing, for it to be on Twitter, even for Elon Musk to have signed off on it, even he, as far right as he is, as pro-Trump as he is, as pro-corporation as he is, for as pro-free speech as Elon Musk is, even he is like, yo, I have to doubt your credibility in this. Picks or what? Which basically means, yo, I think it's low-key bullshit. And if you are making Elon Musk seem like the rational one, you know you fucked up. You know you fucked up at that point.
I think it's funny that the right harps so much on Joe Biden's son. So much they gave him shit. He's a crackhead. He's untrustworthy. He's skeevy. He's all this stuff. This guy is outright admitting, I am a crackhead. I smoke crack rocks. And they're like, oh, credible. Has to be credible. That's why people like Vinny, I know what Obama would say to this man. You know what Obama would say to people like Vinny?
You ain't my bitch, nigga.
Listen, I think it's one of these concepts where I pick my side, and when I pick my side, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what they do, what they say. I pick my side. And that's the problem with people like PBD. Listen, I don't doubt that Adam's a little bit of a younger dude compared to the rest of the Valuetainment cast. I don't doubt that because he's a little bit younger. I don't doubt that to a certain degree. He has more left-leaning policies or left-leaning beliefs because as time has gone on, the country has gone more and more and more liberal. I don't doubt that at all. But here's the thing. He's saying, look, I believe there's a chance Obama's gay. He's like, I don't believe it's super likely, but I believe there's a chance that he's gay. And that's the problem, is that these guys are like, nope, must be gay. Vinny, at the very least, was saying, 100% chance he's gay. I believe this crackhead. I believe this guy that has committed forgery. I believe this guy that's a fraudster. I believe him. 100% true. He's a crackhead and I believe him. But Joe Biden's son, he's a crackhead. I don't believe that crackhead. Nope. See, that's the problem. And here's the thing. PBD said that he believes that there's a 30% chance that Obama's gay. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if Obama's gay or not. Do I think there's a chance? Yeah. Do I think it's a little bit more than 2%? Sure. A little bit more than 2%. I'd be willing to go as high as 5, 6, 7% for me personally. Is there a chance he did stuff when he was in high school and college? Sure, absolutely. I'm not doubting that at all. But the reality is, if Obama was going to be gay, if Obama was going to choose to be a homosexual man, or he became or he was born a homosexual man, whatever the fuck you want to say, do you really think he would choose this crackhead? Because my thing is, so he was driving in a limo, and he's like, you know what, that crackhead there, I want that one. Go get me that crackhead. And he brought him in the back of the car. He's like, hey, you want to smoke some rocks? After he said that, hey, want to suck a little bit of dick? The audacity to believe this person that it just so happened to, they met up at a particular bar because Obama was looking for some people, looking for people that wanted to do some rocks, looking to suck some dick. Like, this just random individual just seems so, like, let's be honest. A lot of politicians are out here smashing a bunch of people on the side. Let's keep it 100. If Obama was going to be gay, he'd probably do it with some high-end gay prostitute. He wouldn't do it with some random crackhead on the streets. And a lot of those high-end prostitutes, they'll do the drugs with you. I'm sure they had no problem doing those drugs with you. So, again, the audacity of this weirdo is saying, yep, we met at a bar. He picked me out. I rubbed his leg, and it was on. I think it's a little horseshit. Let's be honest. Again, the man committed forgery. He's known for fraud. And yet you guys were still wanting to believe it. The only reason you guys believe it is because you want to believe it. That's how insane this is. Listen, again, if he's gay, good for him. I don't care. What he does in the morning with some other man's dick is none of my business. And I'll be honest with you. If he was president today, that guy came out and he said, I sucked Obama's dick. He sucked my dick back in 1999. Like, okay. He's already president. What the fuck am I going to do with that information? Now that he's not president and he's never going to be president again, it matters even less. That's the only beef that people on the left have. They're like, why bring this up, my man? It means nothing. That's why people are so bored. Nobody on the left cares that he's gay. As PBD said himself, people are pushing the gay agenda, according to him on the left. So why would they care if Obama's gay? And it's funny because Vinny on Valuetainment said, if there's too much to put on people at that time. At that time, people are like, first black president, gay, but first black president and he's gay. Nope, too much. I thought you said that. The left has always been pushing the gay agenda. So why would they be like, he's gay? Nope, that's too much. We want progressive, just not that progressive. We're not ready for a black gay president. We just want him to be black. It's insane. It's stupid. Like the idea that these guys are pushing this type of narrative is insane to me because again, we know Vinny, like, look, listen. Vinny is hardcore right. He's never gonna change. He is who he is. He's bought fully into the sauce. According to him, water's turning frogs gay. He's falling into that Alex Jones pool. But PBD, I think he's a smart guy. I just think he's a con artist as far as these types of issues. I think he's a lot like Tucker Carlson, which is why I like him so much. I think he's a lot like Elon Musk. I think he's a lot like a lot of these dudes where they're charismatic. They have, some clout. They have some people that follow them, clearly based on the cast of Valuetainment. And with that, they know, okay, where's my bread and butter? My bread and butter is more than likely I would be a high probability that if you looked at his demographics, it would be straight white males. That is a gigantic portion of his demo. Now, don't get me wrong. I watch Valuetainment, and I'm not a white male. I'm straight, but I'm not a white male. So my thing is, I watch because I'm hoping that there's some logic put out into the world, some down the middle, not so much bias. But unfortunately, PBD disappoints me. I'm not saying come to the left, PBD. You're a right guy. That's perfectly okay. I'm not saying come to the left. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying call it down the middle a little bit more, man. Because you yourself said, well, I don't know why Tucker would do this. I feel like it actually hurts him. I don't feel like it helps him. I don't feel like... You basically said you don't feel like it was necessarily good because you can call it 1,000. And that's exactly the thing. The only reason, and Adam pointed this out, is that if the viewership isn't what they want it to be, and again, you know, don't play yourself, boy. You know that on Twitter, if you scroll by a video, not even if you watch it, but if you just happen to be scrolling and the video happens to be on the feed and it plays, it's counted as a view. Ain't no way 300 million people watch that damn video. 300 million people don't know who Tucker Carlson is. Let's stop this bullshit. Let's call it down the middle. Is Obama gay? Sure, there might be a chance he's gay. And if he's gay, who cares? What do you think about that, my man?
I think you pretty much hit all the good points that I was going to hit. You pretty much nailed it on the head there. It was a good finish.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was passionate about this one because I don't like... Look, I don't care which side of the political spectrum you're on. I really don't care. Truly, I don't care. If you're right and you're a cool-ass person, I'll kick with you. I don't give a fuck. My problem is, and the reason I get so fucking heated about this, is when people make stupid arguments. I will argue against the left. I will argue even against some of my own points if people make a stupid fucking argument. I just don't like stupid arguments. And I believe this crackhead saying he boned Obama, but I don't believe Joe Biden's crackhead son because blank, you're clearly showing bias. And people like Vinny, people like Alex Jones, they all have an agenda. They all have a reason why they're pushing their shit. And I get it. It's part of their demo. It's part of what's gotten them to where they want to be. But stop being so goddamn biased. Call it down the fucking middle. Be unbiased and let's get to the truth of things. Because as long as the extreme left and the extreme right keep controlling the narrative, we're not going to fucking get anywhere. Vinny's an extreme rightist. Some people that have gone... Here, I'll give you guys a really good one. Jank went on PBD podcast maybe like a month or two ago. I don't remember when it was. I watched it. I think Jank said a lot of stupid ass shit. And I would consider him extremely on the left. I think he said a lot of stupid ass shit. See, that's the difference between people like Vinny, people like Jank, and me and my man here. We're gonna call it down the middle. Yes, we agree with the left sometimes, but we also agree with the right sometimes. We've done go watch some of our catalog. Sometimes we agree fully with some of the stuff that the right says. But that's the thing is we call it down the middle. We don't call it based on, oh, I'm on the left, so I have to believe in everything. In fact, there's a lot of issues that we've discussed on the podcast where we don't agree with the left. We've even said that we feel like the left is pushing us out because of how extreme they're getting. So no, call it down the middle. Stop the bullshit. Stop letting these people control the goddamn narrative, and let's just quit the bullshit. And with that, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.